3 ways to maximize your therapy sessions so that it's guaranteed to help you. So look, hey, as a therapist, I've seen hundreds, probably even thousands of clients up until this point. And it's funny, I see some clients get all the things that they want out of therapy, so they're able to lower their anxiety, lower their depression. And then I see some people who nothing changes. And for the longest, I used to think that it was me. I used to think, man, am I not a good therapist? But here's the thing. I use the same framework for all of my clients. And it's because it's that robust, right? It's just that good. But here's the thing. All the clients are not the same. That means that even though I use the same framework, I do need to make some adjustments. But even as I make these adjustments, some clients still, they do not reach their goals. You know, for you listening right now, you may have been to therapy and deemed that it doesn't work. Right now, you may be in therapy and you feel like you're not making the progress that you would like for yourself to be making. And if that's the case, I'm gonna give you guys 3 tips to help you to maximize your therapy sessions so that you can get out of the therapy office faster, but also even save money. I think that's a great win-win. Also, I'm going to give you guys a bonus because at the beginning, when I first did the outline for this podcast, I said, hey, I'm gonna give you guys just 3 solid points. But before I started recording, I came up with a 4th one, and I'm gonna save that bonus one for the end. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because this is actually one of the ways that's gonna help you to maximize your therapy sessions, and I'll go through that later. But by subscribing to a therapist podcast, you're able to get additional resources in addition to your therapy. For a lot of you guys right now, you're not really listening to any podcasts, but if you are, I question how many podcasters are actually therapists that you're following. That's one of the benefits to joining this podcast. That's one of the benefits to joining this community, because everything that I give you is evidence-based, meaning that it's been tested and it's been proven to work. If it's not tested, if it's not proven, I'm not going to share that with you, because I don't share those things even in my therapy sessions. So rest assured that you're going to get the best of the best when you subscribe to this community. And also, guys, thank you. So with that being said, let's get into point number 1. So believe it or not, I'm a therapist and I'm an expert in therapy, but I always tell my clients, you are the driver, right? You are the driver of this boat. You're the driver of this vehicle. I'm only the passenger. I'm only a navigator. My job is to tell you how to get to your destination based on what you tell me. So if I have a client that tells me they want to make $1 million, which I've had some clients tell me, then it's my job to help them to find the roadmap to getting there. And in that situation, it's me helping them with the mental piece. That is what I'm really focused on. It's helping them to build that confidence, helping them stay consistent and disciplined in their actions, in their day. Based on your destination, that would then determine what advice, what guidance, what directions I give you. But here's the thing. You're the expert of your life, not me, right? I'm just here to help guide you. I need you to trust that you know you better than you know yourself. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because to maximize your therapy sessions, one of the best things you can do is have a list of questions going into your therapy sessions that you can ask your therapist. Too often, I see clients come into even my therapy sessions thinking that I have a program or an outline of what I'm going to talk about in that session. And here's the thing. Yes, I do. But if there's new things that have happened in your life, if there's things that we have not talked about that would help us to overcome some of your obstacles, I need you to bring that stuff up in a therapy session. Because here's the thing, as a navigator, guess what I can do? I can take us on a detour if we need to and still hit our destination. But if I don't know that we're going in the right way, if I don't know that there's trouble ahead, then we're gonna run into some, let's just say, slowdowns, if you will. So what am I trying to say here? I want you guys to go into every therapy session with intention. And to actually go into therapy sessions with intention, one of the things you have to do is reflect. You have to reflect on your life and how it's been going. You have to reflect on how the therapy sessions are going. I need you to have this sort of intuition about what it is that you need. And even if you don't know what you need, I need you guys to at least share some of the pain points that you're having, some of the obstacles you're running into, so that way the therapist knows exactly what direction to take you in. So for this first point, to maximizing your therapy sessions, I need you to be the expert in your life. And to do that, you need to go into your therapy sessions with questions, concerns, things like that. Because at the end of the day, this therapy session is not just a therapist doing all the talking. You have to be a part of this. And by doing that, you give you guys both a chance to reach your goals, but also to reach your goals faster. Main point number 2 to maximizing your therapy sessions, and I absolutely love this one, is that you have to be active in your own rescue. Like, have you ever seen in a movie, or let's just say in a TV show, commercial, social media, whatever, where there's someone that's drowning in the middle of the water, and then the lifeguard has to climb down from their chair, run into the water, and jump in and save them? Like, we've all seen that happen. And when that's happening, what we don't need the person that's drowning to do is to fight, right? To try to fight or push away the person that's trying to save them. Or even worse, do nothing, right? For the therapist and even for the lifeguard in that situation, yes, they have the strength to help save you. But trust me when I say, you would go a lot faster if you participated in that rescue as well. Because here's the thing, guys, your therapy is just one part of this whole experience. The work that you do outside of the therapy session is a whole entirely different thing. Because here's the thing, guys, we can work together and in that session make some strides, but there's a whole life you live outside of therapy. And I need you guys to be able to be active in that part of your life. I'll give you guys a great example, actually, and this literally just happened. So I have a dietitian, and I hired one because I was pre-diabetic, right? So I was on the verge of having diabetes. So I hired this dietitian, and we started meeting. And in day 1 of our meetings, I said, hey, can I give you a goal? And he was like, sure, go ahead. So I told him what I wanted to work on. And basically it was changing one area of my diet, which was my dinner, right? So I still had breakfast I needed to address, still had lunch, still had my snacks. But I said, hey, let me just start off with dinner and let me just work on that. And he said, cool, I'll send you some dinner options. So he sent it to me. And what I did within a week was took pictures of my dinners and then sent it to him. And I did that because I wanted to be held accountable for this rescue that he was having for me. By doing that, it made me feel more a part of this journey. And because I was feeling more a part of this journey, I was more motivated. And what literally just happened was that I just read my score results, right? So I went and did some blood work literally this morning, and I got the results back, and I went from having a 6.3 A1C score to now having a 5.7, and that was really great. That was a big change. And even in addition to that, I've lost about 25 pounds just from working with him. So I've been making a lot of changes, but it's because I've been active in my own rescue. You know, there's so many things that he's done. There's so many things that I've done for my clients that I think a lot of people would be amazed with the details that one gives to, you know, someone struggling with whether it's depression, anxiety, or for me, struggling with their eating habits. But here's the thing, you have to take advantage of these opportunities. You have to be active in your own rescue. So what I'm saying right here, right now, is I need you guys to ask yourself, what is it that I'm being asked to do outside of the therapy sessions? If your therapist is not giving you work outside of it, you need to ask them. If they don't have anything, then I would suggest you find another therapist and find someone that's going to push you and challenge you. That's step number 2. You got to be active. Don't expect the therapist to do all the work. Main point number 3, and I think I am one of maybe a handful of therapists. I'm probably 1 in 100 that actually does this. But point number 3 is you need to ask your therapist for additional resources outside of the therapy session. And I'll give you guys a great example. Now, let me explain why I'm asking you guys to do this, why this is so important. As I stated earlier, you have this 1 hour with this therapist, and it's probably once a week. For some people, it's once every 2 weeks. So what that means is that 99% of your life is going to be spent outside the therapy room. Now, trust me, life does not stop just because you're not in therapy. It keeps going. And what you need to do is ask your therapist, what additional resources, in addition to your resources, could help me get to the next level, to help me to transform and take my life from point A to point B. Now, how do I do this as a therapist? Because I know this is very important. So let me list them. 1, all my clients, they get 3 emails from me a week, basically giving them some type of resource or some type of strategy to help them get through whatever it is that they're trying to get through, okay? Another thing is that they get podcasts just like this from me, again, 3 times a week, right? And what this does is it helps give them almost like a free masterclass to help them to see what they can be using in addition to the resources I've given them to take their life again from point A to point B. Now, 3 emails plus 3 podcasts plus the 1 hour therapy session is 7 total touch points that clients have with me. With you and your therapist, I'm willing to bet that there's only one touch point, meaning you're only meeting with them that one time. And for a lot of therapists, they have to do that because they're seeing like 40 other people in addition to you. But when you work with a private therapist, you get this almost like special treatment, if you will. A lot of the things that I just mentioned is a part of that. Now, there's more things that I do. One of the great things that I do as well is I have an app that I give my clients, and I send them techniques to practice through that app. So technically, there's 8 touch points. But nonetheless, if your therapist isn't doing those things, so doesn't have a podcast, doesn't have an email list, and doesn't send you techniques through an app, you can just ask them, what other resources outside of you can I use to help me with this journey that I'm on? This resource could come in the form of books, podcasts, right? Podcasts outside of theirs. It may even be a movie that you could watch that is related. I'll give you a great one. There's a movie on Netflix called Stutz. Okay, Stutz. That is a great movie about Jonah Hill working with his therapist. And you get to see some of the techniques and some of the transformations that happen within the therapy room. But see, you got to ask for those things. You know, I hate to say it, but sometimes even I'll see some of my clients, they just show up, they talk a little bit, and then they leave. They know about all these resources because I give it to them, I offer it to them. But do they take advantage of it? That's another question, right? But I need you to be proactive, okay? I need you to go and ask, what are some extra resources? And if you can't find any, again, you should then find another therapist, but also take it upon yourself to do a Google search, even use ChatGPT, and ask, what are the top 5 books for someone dealing with this, right? So it could be depression or anxiety, right? Take that and then go find those books. But nonetheless, ask your therapist for additional resources because that 1 hour a week isn't enough. All right, so you made it to the end. As promised, I did have a bonus point that I did want to make. Something that I thought about right before the session, and I debated, should I share it? Should I not share it? But because I knew you would make it to the end, I said, you know what? I think it'll be worth it. So the bonus point that I want to make in order to help you to maximize your therapy sessions is to be more open-minded to trying new things. Yo, I gotta tell you, the things that I ask my clients to do in therapy sessions are totally different to the point where they almost feel weird. You know, I'll give you an example. Literally today, I had a client write down on a sheet of paper a list of thoughts and feelings that they struggle with when it comes to them and their relationship. And then I asked him to ball up that sheet of paper, put it in his pocket, and then take it with him for every day this week, right? So it's kind of like almost some like Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, right? I'm trying to teach him something though. And what this is supposed to represent is his ability, or rather his willingness, to bring on uncomfortable feelings with him throughout the week. What also I wanted him to see is that he could have a great night with his girlfriend, even though all these negative things have happened to him, right? Even though, you know, there's been the arguing, the anger, the frustration, because again, he's bringing them with him. But I need him to see that it doesn't have to stop him from having this loving relationship. So what I'm trying to teach him is that it's not whether or not anger or frustration happens, right? Because it happens to all of us. But what's more important is how you carry it. And what I'm teaching him is that it is okay and actually how to carry these things with him. That's some of the techniques that I give. And again, it's very new, it's very different. Because I'm telling him, even if you're going to the gym and you're working out, right? So you're in your basketball shorts or workout clothes, you still need to carry this paper ball with him. And that's weird because how often do you do that, right? It's totally different. But it's going to be new exercises like this that you need to be open to. Just try it. And trust me when I say, when you try new things, you're going to get new results. And that's what you're looking for when you come into therapy. Because you've been trying to overcome your anxiety and your depression all by yourself, and it hasn't been working. So now it's time to try something new. And that's the whole point that you're going to learn in therapy. You're going to learn how to use new strategies to get new outcomes. So real quick, I'm going to go over these 4 main points with you to help you to see how you can maximize your therapy. So the first point I made is you need to be the expert in your life. Come to your therapy sessions with a list of questions to ask your therapist. Trust me, we're good with the mind, but we're not mind readers. So ask questions. Second, you need to be active in your own rescue. You guys need to be proactive and take action outside of the therapy room. So that way when you come back, you guys have something to discuss, but also you're making progress, right? Because life is still happening even though you're outside of this therapy room. The third point that I made is that you need to also ask your therapist for additional resources. Every client that works with me gets a total of 7 touch points each and every week, okay? You need to ask your therapist what are some additional resources that they can offer you. Even if they don't have resources themselves, they should be able to point you in the right direction, whether it's a podcast, a book, a conference, or something like that. And then the last point, just be open to trying new things. There's going to be some new and difficult things that's going to be asked of you in the therapy room. And that's okay, because we're asking for something that we never had. And that's what we're looking for when it comes to therapy. So my name is Coach Wells. I'm a licensed therapist. Thank you for checking out this podcast, and I'll see you guys later.